Okay, mic check, mic check.
1, 2, 3.
Alright, I hear you. Alright, and now we are good to go for race 11 or round 1 of the XRS Mercury Cup playoffs here at Daytona. For the first race of the playoffs, everybody locked in, including the wildcard driver. 9 drivers, 4 races, and we're about to wrap up qualifying here. I'm Fan2403, joined alongside a new face in the booth. We're here with RPM Assassin. It's the first time he's going to be in the booth, so thank you for joining me tonight.
No worries. You know, as I missed out with culture and first, I thought might as well give something else new.
So a lot of people just wrapping up their qualifying laps. The stream was a little delayed, but looking as the cars are crossing right now, it is looking like that Tomato Drifts is going to score the pole. He currently has the fastest lap time, and of course Forza starts to glitch out when I'm trying to go through the field. Thank you, game.
Just like Forza. Yeah, I'm surprised MVP didn't make the pole. He was quick in practice.
Yeah, MVP, he hit a 45.996, and then Tomato Drift hit a 45.986, so very close on lap times there. Everybody else seems to be in that 46 very low 46 second bracket. I think only MVP and Tomato were the only 2 drivers reaching the 45 second bracket. So lap times all relatively close. We can expect that. It's Daytona. There's really only one line you got to run around here, and if you are able to run it the smoothest, then you should have the best of luck trying to get the best time that you can. So here tonight, 86 laps that are going to be ran. Well, really 85 laps if you subtract the 1 pace lap. And cars in the field tonight, specifically that we're going to be looking out for, are the 9 playoff drivers. So RZX Cam, Rough Rabbit, JDMX Culture, RZX U5A MVP, Sly the Uberman, Smokey Eunuch, and going through the field more, Tomato Drifts, FM Esports, and Dawson are the 9 drivers who indeed made the playoff field. Dawson being the wild card driver, so he was able to make it in because he fit all 3 requirements. You need to have at least 50% of the regular season races attended. You need to be top 18 in the point standings, and you need to make sure you have 1 win under your belt. And he was able to do that at the throwback race, week 7 at Indianapolis. So tonight, based off of what we've seen in practice and qualifying, lap times all relatively close with each other. A lot of drivers, just the first race of the playoffs, so Assassin, I know necessarily for the playoffs you haven't been in that environment, but just thinking the mindset of a driver here. This is the first of 4 races that need to be ran in order to determine who the final 4 will be at Indianapolis for the last race of the season. So in that mindset of being a driver, what are you looking for out of tonight being the first race? Are you looking for aggression right away, trying to have your best finish possible? Or are you thinking, well, it's the first race, I have 3 more attempts to do good if I don't necessarily survive tonight?
Well, I mean, I feel that you have to find the balance. You need to be aggressive, but be careful. Avoid the wrecks, obviously. And just make sure you're there at the end, because you can't win the race in the first few laps. If you crash, it could ruin most part of your race. But I think the 9 drivers in there, they know what they're doing. They just need to find the right people. Like, there's teammates in there that can work with each other. They find each other, they might do well. I just feel that it's the first race. It's not the end of the world, but we could get a good start if they get the points and make a good run for the playoffs.
Yeah, very key important thing that you said there, that you very much can't win the race on the first few laps. And that can apply really all the way until, I would say about until we hit the 65 lap range of the 85 race laps to be ran tonight. Once you hit around 20 to go, if you're in the front, you can chill there, you can chillax, there's no reason to really make an aggressive move. But if you're sitting in like 10th, if you're sitting in about 10th or a little further than that, that's your go time. So hopefully at the end of the night, we're going to see those people at the back of the pack. They're going to make those pushes towards the front at different times in comparison to the people at the front. So that's what really creates the chaos, the momentum shifts that Daytona is known for. It's just the style of racing that you get at this track, and with the finishes that we've had, really the past handful of Daytona races, even going all the way back into when we were in the Cup Series, every Daytona race has had a good finish so far, and it's simply because of everybody just trying their hardest, because Daytona, for the most part, is a wild card event. And what we mean by that is anybody can win Daytona. You don't need to be a road course king. You don't need to be a top 500 driver in this game to win at Daytona. So some drivers in the field, I'm assuming some of those, like maybe towards the back, like let's say right now you're sitting at 7th through 9th in the standings maybe. These are probably people that, you know what, I'm going to make the push tonight, so then if I get a good finish now, the other tracks where I'm okay at, hopefully you can rely on your consistency to be able to get to the front.
Yeah, I feel finding your teammates in this race is going to be a big thing. I mean, looking at the lineup, you've got Sly and Crazy. I mean, I'm secretly rooting for Uber as an Uber driver, but you know, I'd love to see Clutcher do well. Me and Clutcher had a great race last week for the last spot. FM and Smokey are together. That's a good thing. Not quite sure on the other teams, but I think finding your teammates is going to be key. I mean, Dawson and Rabbit at the back, they're both playoff drivers. They're going to be like, let's work together, let's work our way up. Or they're going to be like, well, it's every man for themselves. It's just finding the balance, finding someone that can work with you and getting to the front.
Yep, and let's take a look at the playoff point standings here real quick. So the way that it works once we enter into the playoffs, very similar to the Cup Series, that it's the top 8 on regular season points that make it. This year there was a small technicality to the top 8 actually weren't quite the entire field. And I'll talk about that in a minute. So top 8 regular season points, and then the 9th driver is that wild card spot, meeting the requirements that you need to get what I talked about earlier. And the playoff points that you have acquired over the regular season, the way that you earn playoff points, you get 3 playoff points for a win. You get 2 playoff points if you're on podium for second, and then 1 playoff point if you finish third. So only top 3 at the end of every race get playoff points. And here at the end, now the points have reset to 2,000 points. So everybody's points, they were reset to 2,000. Now all the playoff points are added. Since we have a wild card driver, you never know, could be some seasons where we don't have a wild card driver. But since we have a wild card driver, everybody in the top 8 received a 10-point bonus. With there being the wild card driver, it's going to make it harder for Dawson to climb his way up. So now he needs to make up an already 10-point gap to just the position ahead of him. So the playoff standings that we have right now, RZX U5A MVP sits in first at 2,022. Rough Rabbit and Tomato Drifts are second and third at 2,015. FME Sports currently sitting in fourth at 2014. RZX Cam in fifth with 2011. And then 6th, 7th, and 8th are tied at 2010. And then Dawson sitting right at 2,000 because none of his playoff points are eligible to be transferred due to him being the wild card driver. Cars loading in. Go ahead if you want
I
to
was
say.
just gonna say, just looking at the starting lineup, Dawson has a lot of points to gain, but he's at the back. So is Dawson gonna get aggressive, or could he be just bide his time? Only time will tell. And looking forward to a good race.
Well, Dawson definitely received a lot of help from a good friend of his being Exiv. Exiv, I know he helped him pretty much get the win at Indianapolis when he won race 7. So here, another big draft-heavy track. There could be a good possibility. Could be good possibility that they can be working together a lot tonight as well. Let's take a look at the starting grid here for tonight. In the front row, we have Tomato Drifts and RZX U5A MVP making up 1-2. Then row 2, we have Exiv and Smoky Eunuch. Row 3 is JDMX Culture and Crazy Fools. Row 4 is FM Esports and Sly the Uberman. Row 5 will be Someone in Front of You and Mr. Shorty. Row 6 will be RZX Cam and Rough Rabbit. Row 7 will be Dawson and Subsonic. Row 8 will be Smiley is Here and Back in Black. Row 9 will be Deadpool. So those are the 17 drivers who will make up the field tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the start of this, and as we know at Daytona, all it takes one car at the beginning of these races to get out of line, and all hell can break loose. So you avoid the wrecks, you can make your way to the front real quick, but you've got to put yourself in the right place. But we'll see. We've been here before.
Playoff drivers in the field are being indicated by the yellow playoff banner. They also have a yellow rear spoiler, and then they have a small yellow line at the front bumper of their cars. So those would separate the playoff drivers from the rest. I see some of them added yellow numbers to the roofs of their car. That's not required, but a nice touch. So here, it's night race. Daytona is the last Daytona race this season. And let's get underway for round 1 of the XRS playoffs.
It looks like they're all staying behind, but oh, there is a car on the inside. But FM got nudged out.
Couldn't quite tell who that one car was.
It looked like
Yeah,
it
well, you
was
said it
FM.
was FM. Yes, it was FM. So already FM went shuffled all the way back.
It's about to start his playoffs. But it's a long, long race.
Well, if you're going to make the mistakes, make them lap 1.
Definitely.
Tomato Drifts leads them in the first lap, so he's able to secure it on. MVP drops back to 4th position. Exiv sitting in line in 2nd, and Smoky Eunuch with him in 3rd.
It looks like Rapid played at field position on the start. Found crazy his teammates, so it'll be good for him. Well, it's just settling in place for now and riding on.
MVP made up another position, made his way up to 4th. Him and Culture went a little high there on the tri-oval. Two Trackhouse teammates working together on the high line.
It looks like Cam's going to join them.
That would be a 3rd Trackhouse teammate. Let's ride on board with MVP's game camera. Going to make a good move on Crazy here. Dropped down to the inside, was behind him all throughout the straightaway. Exiv and Smokey trying to lead a high line off of 4. MVP behind Tomato trying to lead a bottom lane.
Looks like they're just trying to get clear so they can come down here. Let's see if we're doing the movement on the board.
Now yeah, when Exiv moved down to block that run from the inside. Meanwhile, Tomato with MVP getting a big push. Exiv barely squeezes in, and Culture dives below him with a crossover. Now X is going to get left out.
Yeah, X needs to find the gap in the bottom line real quick.
And he does. He tucks in line in 5th position. He's going to work back up with Smokey. So
looks like Deadpool's dropped off from the back of the pack. Don't know if he's spun out or something.
it looks like right here about the first 10 cars are all together. First 10 cars are all together leading in this first group, and I see Forza Spectator glitching a little bit. It looked like Culture was about to turn MVP. Now the top 6 are all on a blanket with each other.
Well, this back group looks to be going racing.
Whoa! Tomato drifts around in turn 1, spins up in front of the pack. Everybody avoids him.
He almost only got damage there, so I'd be expecting a caution.
If he did get a caution, or if he did get damaged, then this will be a race back to the caution flag. X of Smokey, they made their way back up to the front after making a mistake earlier, sending them back to 5th. See as they come to the line this time. Oh, looks like they're still all going full speed. So he probably did not sustain damage, so that will make it to where we will still remain green.
Yeah, he looked like he'd blow hard. It's a strange one,
Looks like X of Smokey running very similar cars. Only difference is Smokey's a playoff driver and running the 7. Oh, RZX Cam around in 4. Got caught up with someone in front of you as well.
It's a tough break for Cam.
That will bring out the first caution of the night.
It looks like Cam got damage. Playoff drivers just seems to be getting in a lot of trouble at the moment. But the caution will be music to FM's ears. Definitely.
Well, FM, yeah, he didn't recover much. He is still sitting in 16th position, but now with the field going to be regrouped, that should hopefully help everybody out here. Now, with Daytona, with all the racing happening and going on track, and the fact that you can't work with the first place car, you can't draft with them. Not necessarily you can't draft with them, but you can't.
Can't break that bubble.
Yeah, you can't break the bubble with them. You can't bubble draft. You can't necessarily bump draft with them. So you can't work with the leader. And with you not being able to do that, you can't tandem with them. It's generally everybody close, but one critical thing for Daytona is track position. And the way that you gain or lose a lot of track position is pit stops. So with this race tonight, it looks like it's going to be a one-stop race. Overall, with the way the tires are wearing, with the way the fuel's going out, it's really only one stop. So if drivers elect to stay out or go in, which we see a good amount actually went into pit road.
I don't think they're going to make it to the end though. So I assume some of them have got damage, or some of them have just been at the back and thought, do you know what? Fresh tires for nothing, why not?
Okay, Sly is saying that he can't hear you well in the stream.
Okay, I'll try and fix that. mess with my mic monitoring.
Yeah, and I'll try to change a
Signal.
few things as well. Because me, I always hear you perfectly fine, but
Yeah.
obviously Twitch does not agree with everything.
Well, I've turned the mic monitoring up as high as it goes. I'll have a look for myself as well.
Alright, I made some adjustments on my end too, seeing if that helps out a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it should be going green here.
Okay, slide does says it's better.
Let's see
Okay.
where we're at. Thank you for that information, sir.
So, this will leave Exiv and Crazy Fools. 1, 2.
I mean, Uber in the top 6, so if they can get together, they might run out a bit far. But obviously, with no tandem rule.
And here we go again. Oh, some drivers hitting cones.
Yeah, the infamous cones.
A lot of people tend to shuffle out single file immediately from the starts and the restarts, and we've seen that in Daytona just in general. We see everybody tend to just try to get single file right away. Now, you, Assassin, you've been driving this season more than I have, obviously. Why exactly does everybody tend to try to get into that single file formation almost before turn 2?
I mean, it's definitely a Forza thing. I mean, the package in the Mercs is good. You can run the top, but it's just if you're on the bottom, it's hard to pass. I mean, we're early in the race, so there's nothing there to push for. But it's about patience, I believe. I mean, I definitely run the bottom. I don't really like on the top, but it's getting people to go with it. It's just like real life racing. People don't go with you, they're just gonna go backwards. It's just finding people to trust on that high line.
Well, right now, Crazy Fools remaining the first car on the high line with Rough Rabbit behind him.
It seems like the Uber are going to the top.
Yep. The Uber guys are on the high line.
Rabbit dipped into the left from that. Going back to the top, it's just like the speed cars on the top, it's just not working. One of those things.
Not working there, and whoa, back and black swirling back and forth. He's getting pretty aggressive here. Assuming he just doesn't want to lose another position.
I mean, it's just Joey, you know. I've had my running with Joey in races. He tends to go on the aggressive side a lot. I'll keep it at that.
Meanwhile, up front, Dawson and Exiv working together a little bit. Culture wasn't between them, but now they're making moves at the same time, trying to get around each other. I'll leave Culture to dry on the high line.
It seems someone has totally lost the back of the field. Don't know if something went wrong with his car. But they're not really far from off him.
Whoa, Exiv got up into the wall. They were 3 wide, and that was more Forza wall than anything. He just slowed down entirely.
Yeah, he lost the draft. He's gonna need some help to get back up there.
And now Culture, Mike getting himself in a predicament in the middle. Mr. Shorty making contact and into the wall he goes, but it doesn't look like it's going to be much. A lot of momentum lost there for Culture.
Yeah, looking at the back of the field, things are down. They all have recovered from that start.
Well, it could be now that he's trying to just run. He's purposely running.
Yeah, he's that is definitely a chance.
Like FM, he won the last time that we were here at Daytona, and for the most part, we didn't see FM even in the top 10 until about 20 laps to go. So FM, he might know what he's doing. He's trying to stay in the calm before the storm.
I mean, having that instant really early, can dent the guy's confidence, and you may just think, I'm gonna ride at the back for a while, which is totally understandable.
And Rabbit tried to go to the outside of Crazy, making a move for the race lead, but he's going to get more hung out to dry. And that will leave Smokey and Dawson trying to work with each other. Now they move to the high line. MVP is going to move to the low line. He has help on the inside with Cam behind him. Once again, it looks like it just ends up being 3 cars that run up very close to each other on the high line.
The field seems to be getting very spread.
Yeah, it wasn't as tightly packed as we were earlier. Earlier, it was the first 10 cars pretty much all together. Now it's the first 7 or so cars tightly packed together.
The question is, coming into maybe 5 lap time, they're going to catch the lap car. What is the lap car doing? Are you going to try and park it in front of the leaders? One of them? Or is it going to go we've got a slow car on the top?
That was Crazy Fools, I believe. He got Forza walled again. Rough Rabbit trying to get to that outer corner panel of MVP. He's trying to get himself in a better position. Now he goes high. Meanwhile, behind him, Tomato and Cam, they split. Tomato goes to the inside of Rabbit now.
They seem to be getting very dicey early in the race.
Whoa, MVP might be forced to the high line.
So we're getting very racy very early.
Got very squirrely with each other. 3 wide.
3 wide.
MVP round into the wall he goes. Hard collision. Him and Cam got together.
Definitely hard hit.
That will bring out
I'm
the
going to
call.
assume he got a lot of damage.
They were getting squirrely, but really it's a shocker that it was only a single car wreck that we ended up getting out of that.
I mean, if this is what they're going to be like now, what are they going to be like for the last 20 laps?
Yes, is the answer.
And it'll be one of 2 things. They'll either calm down, or they'll just start spinning each other. And as someone sat in the booth, I'd love to see the latter. But as a race driver, you don't want to see those things in front of you. The
through
question
this.
is,
Go ahead.
who's gonna pit?
We saw a handful of guys pit last time. I don't believe we'll see drivers pit this time. Meaning up at the front. I'd be surprised a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make it from here.
They wouldn't make it. No, that first group, they're not going to make it. In order to really make it, then you would need to pit at the halfway mark in this race. Because you can make it to the halfway point in this race. So, in reality, it's just pitting halfway, and then you'll be fine on fuel and tires to the end.
Yeah, I mean, looking at, fuel levels on some of the cars, I reckon we get a caution about lap 33. Gonna force some people into decisions.
And let's look at the leader's fuel right now. Dawson sitting at 60%. So, 60%, very little tire wear.
It works out about 20% every 10 laps, but we have had caution laps. Obviously, if they're saving fuel, they're gonna have more fuel, but it's gonna get interesting if it keeps going this way.
So it's about a 15% difference as I'm looking at the drivers who are all the drivers at the front, meaning the top four. They're all sitting at around 60% fuel. Cam, he's sitting at 75. So I'm assuming he was part of that group that pitted very early on at lap 9.
Cam definitely was one.
So
Definitely got damaged.
yeah, so it's about a 15% difference then. Only a 15% difference in fuel. Still waiting for one car to get all the way caught up, but they're in the turn 3 and 4 banking, so this should allow that one car to easily catch up. And Dawson, he elects the high line.
Yeah, I find that strange. Here at Daytona, it's always about protecting the bottom, so maybe Dawson has made some agreements. But we'll see when we go past the flag.
Maybe he's just going to try to get the best jump that he can. So then he can get down in front of Smokey immediately, but let's see. And he stalled that restart for a while.
He went all the way going.
He brings Rough Rabbit with him to the bottom line. That looked like someone in front of you. And other cars around, FM Esports being one of them.
Quite a few cars around there.
Well, they're getting all tangled off of turn 2. Meanwhile, it's going to be a race back to the caution. Dawson will lead him back.
The two Hooters cars keep getting caught up in the wrecks.
Let's see if we have any good paint schemes tonight. Third caution on lap 24. So Dawson is running the same car that he's ran all season so far, his HP, number 31. He went very aggressive on the yellow front, on the yellow front bumper. Some drivers went subtle with it, so some drivers didn't really put one at all. The front splitter, to be honest, is not that important. The only two things that are heavily regulated are the rear spoiler and the banner. The front splitter, that's all voluntarily if you want to have that on your car. Rough Rabbit ran the same car that he's pretty much had all season.
Yeah, he's been in the car a while.
Likes the crispy M&Ms. And Tomato drifts. Tomato we've seen in a couple of different cars, but the Great Clips car he just tends to always crawl back to.
It seems that Exif, Smokey, FM, and Deadpool are all in Hooter cars.
And that doesn't surprise me. Cam, he goes into pit road. Looks like only one other person will follow him. Watch Cam in pit road. I believe this is based off of old Kyle Busch Truck Series paint scheme from what he told me when he was running, or when he wanted to make this car. But yeah, FM in a Hooters car, and of course Forza glitched. MVP. MVP, this isn't his official playoff car. And this Matte Black Monster Energy. The paint scheme that he's been running all season, I made for him, and I forgot to make him a playoff version of the car that he has been running all season. So next week I'll make the adjustment for him.
He's thrown it together, but you know, sometimes basic looks good. I mean, Kurt Busch ran that paint scheme for a long time, and it always looked good.
But yeah, so Smokey, Exif pretty much in the exact same car, just different.
Yeah, Deadpool, FM, same car, just black.
Ah, they're pretty much in the same car too, yeah, okay. There's that. Mr. Shorty. In a very unique car. Yeah, back in black.
We got the, we got back in black, we got Subsonic.
Yeah, Subsonic.
Sly going totally to a different engine brand with Red Bull. Bit of chrome on there.
I feel like Sly, he always runs some sort of shiny car, mainly because of his number.
Yeah, he was a good shiny car. Culture's car is definitely cool.
Alright. Dawson waited a long time last time, and he waits a long time this time.
It's working at the moment, but I feel if you go sliding all the time, all the drivers are going to be able to judge it and maybe get better jumps.
Yeah, because the more window of opportunity that you have for a car to go, because you have all the way from the start of pit wall to the start line at Daytona, and with it being that big, it really makes it to where the more time you waste not going, the more time that everyone else has to react to the start.
I mean, speaking to some drivers over the past few weeks, some of them don't like the rule of restart zone. Oh! Black and black puts Tomato in the wall. Oh, Black and black just force Sly off the track.
And everybody scattering a little bit all over.
It's very dirty riding from Jody.
Back to black. Right along with him. He has Crazy trying to push him.
Now, knowing my usual teammates, I know that Crazy has nothing to lose.
Into the wall he goes, back in black.
As I
Another
say that,
spitting on the front stretch.
looks like Jody.
Looks like FM gets caught up in another incident.
FM having a stressful race.
Subsonic also in it as well. MVP, another driver involved.
I know what was saying that. I don't know if Crazy was involved in that, but the Uber guys definitely stick together.
Well, now that's going to spread out everybody.
MVP is going to go a lap down.
Yeah, no caution being called for that. Very interesting. Probably because we had the 3 cautions, so now the intervals are in place.
Maybe we're in the intro. Well, you gotta think once the interval's over, we're probably gonna go back to the same racing. But with it being spread out, maybe things might settle down.
Well, we tend to see a long green flag run happen at Daytona.
Now the question is, I'm riding on board with Jody. He's running the top. And the only reason you run the top is to lose time. Is Jody looking at how getting revenge? We might find out in the next 20 laps. But Jody's definitely trying to get himself back to the pack.
Oh yeah, when you run the high line like that, and he's the first car that the pack would reach because MVP's already a lap down. He's
Definitely
at the
gonna be
line
interesting.
now, and now the pack is at the line now. So it's only Pack Black's only a few seconds ahead of the pack. In terms of actual track location, not track position. Because position, he's the last car on the lead lap.
There is a car that is in front of leaders. And back in black is definitely backing up to the field. Interesting.
Could be interesting, but also could be disastrous for what could be in store for certain people.
Definitely.
Now, we have it to where the top 3 drivers, they're in a group with each other. So, top 3 being Dawson, X of Smokey, they're together. Then the next 3 are together, Rough Rabbit in 4th, Mr. Shorty in 5th, and then Crazy Fools in 6th. Excuse me. So, after those first 2 groups of 3, then it's a duo, Someone and Culture, working together. Then it's another trio, and Tomato Drifts, Deadpool Weed, and RZX Cam. Everybody else seems to be running pretty much by themselves.
Deadpool pulls out from behind Tomato. But Cam's gonna leave Max wide out. Deadpool pulls back in.
And now they're running up on Back in Black really quickly.
It's gonna be interesting.
Probably only about half second ahead. Yep, now here comes the pack. They're probably going to pass him here in this corner. And they do get to him. They're passing him now.
And he's staying high.
Staying high. So, Dawson, exit, Smokey.
And he pulls him behind. That's definitely strange.
I guess he thinks if he tries to fight where he is, he'll be the first car 1 lap down. But even then, there's no significance to that. We don't have a lucky dog.
It's strange with Jody. Well, let's see how it works out.
Yeah, he definitely was running. If you're running, you're right. If you're running the high line by yourself, then you're either trying to lag back to somebody, or you're letting vice versa. You don't want them to catch you, but you're letting them catch you. So either way, you're losing time. And if Back in Black was on the high line for that long,
with the gap he had, they weren't getting draft. So strange decision. Well, let's see how it works out.
now that duo of Someone and Culture, they have now caught the trio of Rough Rabbit, Crazy, and Shorty. And they're gonna try and work together here. They're not looking to work. They're not looking to work with Crazy and Rough Rabbit. They're looking to get around them, and they do.
It just proves that, you know, two cars get linked together properly. Will destroy a free car and not get the properly.
I also feel like three cars, it's harder to coordinate with three cars because it's definitely the middle car that's going to have the most control on how those three cars are going to go together. Because they either can push the front car really aggressively. Ooh, Back in Black getting very close there.
I have to feel fun that this is not going to end well.
We'll see. Culture and someone are really working well together. Yeah, but Rough Rabbit, he's pushing Back in Black ahead.
Oh, he's pulled out.
Gonna go to the eye line. We're gonna end, yep, 3 wide. Crazy goes with Rough Rabbit. No, Rough Rabbit, Crazy back. Yep, that was wise.
Definitely wise thing to do.
Wise decision to back out of 3 wide. Not much room to work with, especially if you have 2 duos trying to work with each other. So now they'll lead that whole pack down to a simmer. Culture and someone, they've made their way up to 4th and 5th. This duo, they're working really well together.
They're making a hell of a time. You know, Culture, going back last week, Culture, I mean, he wrecked. He was out of the playoffs at one point in the race. Did a fantastic job in my opinion. To work his way back through the field. And it's paying off. He's made it up to 5th in this race. It's a long way to go, but good points.
And now Rough Rabbit and Crazy Fools are able to get around Back in Black now. So now this leaves 2 duos, each trying to catch the top trio. What are going to be the key differences here? Because we saw someone in Culture just blow by Rough Rabbit, Crazy, and Shorty like they weren't even really working well together. The top 3, they seem pretty coordinated.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the top 3, they're definitely gaps. You know, Exiv is not to badmouth. He's not doing the best job in the middle. You know, like middle car is a hard job.
Okay, one car lost a spoiler and they were slow on the inside, and I didn't see who that was entirely.
I don't know.
Now they're catching.
MVP seems slow. He's back up speed.
Who knows?
Back in Black. It's no way. I don't think that used to be.
Oh, well. Someone and Culture, they have now caught the top trio of Dawson, X, or Smokey. Meanwhile, Rough Rabbit and Crazy, they're now catching this group as well. So now the first 7 cars back under a blanket, and caution comes out. So that, what I saw earlier, that brought out the yellow. Back in Black goes around to get his lap back. Everybody was so spread out, you couldn't necessarily tell who it was.
I mean, look through cars, I can't see anyone with any visible damage.
Oh, that was a little interesting. Now with this caution coming out at lap 41, we said lap 43 earlier. Will we see a lot of cars going to pit road this time?
I have to I mean, looking at Subsonic's car, he has under 20% fuel. I feel that this is a perfect opportunity to pit. But we're right on that bubble. If we go green to the end, I don't think they make it. It's going to be real close.
And also, are you going to have a drafting partner the entire time?
Yeah, because
Because
you go on your own, you're using a hell of a lot more fuel.
yep, you can be using up to 5 to 9% more fuel when you're by yourself versus in at least a draft.
But this resets the field, they're all back together. And as
And
expected, everyone
everybody,
comes down.
except one. I saw one person not go into pit road. And that's Mr.
That
Shorty.
could be Mr. Shorty.
So Mr. Shorty stays out.
Well, Mr. Shorty is full of fuel. You have to feel he's
Oh,
the guy
so
that's going to the wall.
Yeah, so if he's full on fuel, that means he was the car that got into the wall then.
Question was he a lap down when the caution came out?
Now, that should make it to where he doesn't keep the lead. Yeah, and he's definitely not going the proper pace speed, so he's going to allow the field to catch up and pass him.
Oh,
And there they go.
I mean,
So that will put Exiv as the leader.
then again, we're seeing the lead car take the outside.
It could be they're doing a teammate, what's called a teammate restart. A teammate restart is you simply have two people who are either a teammate or you make a quick agreement, alliance with them that, hey, I know the inside is the best line, but we know we can work really well together, but we would be starting side by side and we don't want that. So I'll go and the other car will purposely not have as good of a start, not a terrible one, but they purposely will not have as good as a start, and so that will allow the other car to get tucked in line with the other car. So,
I mean, I feel that Dawson is going to get the best start and Exiv's going to slot back into that second place. Or maybe they want to switch it up. Who knows? We're about to find out.
we'll see. Everybody just coming off of the pit cycle. And there we go. Yep. Exiv able to dive down in front of Dawson. Oh, Coulter getting left out to dry on the high side.
Coach is only going to get the one car help, and Miley's pulled up in front.
It is really going off behind the first four cars.
Oh!
Whoa!
Off the bottom by Jody, and I have to say I saw that coming.
We're here with now Rough Rabbit trying to get out of this shuffle. Cars really from about fifth on back. Everybody was in that scramble.
Looks the whole field single file at the moment.
Everybody single file.
Oh, Robert. Is Robert coming out?
Oh, Subsonic got a good push from Culture, and that's going to leave Rabbit out to dry on the high side.
You have to feel, obviously, should have seen that coming. Too hard in teammate.
Yeah, Subsonic and Back in Black, they are teammates over at Harding Motorsports.
Oh. Now,
not
interesting.
Not acting like teammates though.
Gonna leave Sonic out to drive from culture.
Now it will be Smiley leading the second group in 7th position. And nope. Back in Black makes the move now.
It seems drivers have not realised we're only halfway.
Whoa! Culture back in Black. Very close.
That was a lot of smoke on that way.
Yeah, well, that's for the spectator glitching out. When you see cars smoking on a straightaway and they're not spinning, yeah, that's the spectator not necessarily doing what you want it to do.
Well, hopefully they fix that for you.
Hopefully. Speaking of, you want to go over here? Quick thoughts on Forza Motorsport. Are you even going to be able to play Forza Motorsport?
Yes, I have the Series X. I pre-ordered it the second it came on the market. I'm a bit iffy, you know. The whole one car thing working the level up on it. I get it, but it's going to be hard to lose off it. Oh, Deadpool!
Whoa! For now they do. That was that group: Smiley, Cam, Deadpool, Sly, all getting around with each other.
Smiley's on the in. Oh, Smiley's around. Not in the wall.
Indeed he is. So we will see if that will bring out the yellow. Exit Dawson, Smokey, Tomato making up the top 4. Meanwhile, someone in MVP working in that 5th and 6th position.
Again.
They are still green.
So, are you playing the new Forza when it comes out?
Indeed I am. I am on not the Series X, but Series S. On the Series S console. It's going to be on Game Pass, so I already pay for Game Pass. But I did get the premium upgrades, so pretty much I'll have the premium edition of the game without buying the $100 version of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are going to do that. I really do. I mean,
I love that that's an option.
I
love that that's an option for people that have Game Pass, especially because there's a lot of games that they probably won't do that. Like if you want premium, you need to pay the big money and break the bank.
I mean, being a Turn 10 studio, it makes sense. You know, part of Xbox.
Yeah.
But it's good that they've done that, honestly.
Yeah, it's good that they've done that. I feel like for this game that's going to come out, I have iffy thoughts on it as well. Especially for our league aspect, that it is a NASCAR league, and we have heard nothing about NASCAR in that game so far from Turn 10 devs and what Turn 10 has released about this game, or about that game, I should say. And the fact that the only oval at launch will be Indianapolis.
Well, I mean, the last trailer did show another oval. It was
Yes,
a make-believe oval. Can't remember the name of it.
Yes, it did show. Yeah, I believe it was called Eagle Rock, something like that. Something with Eagle.
Very New Hampshire.
Yes, it kind of did give off that essence. So, I mean, if there's going to be those ovals, I believe every Forza has had Daytona up to this point. So,
yeah,
hopefully...
I believe Daytona will make a return.
Yeah, so
with
hopefully they
all the GT cars that are in.
yeah, at least there'll be the 24-hour circuit. I'm assuming that it's taking forever because every track in that game, every single track, is going to have that rubber in effect, is going to have the dynamic weather, dynamic time. So, and since everything is going to be like that for that track, Daytona's a big track. This is a massive facility that they need to do that for. So that's what I'm assuming is why Daytona won't be in the game at launch.
I think it will.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of time. I mean, we're coming up on 7 years old, I think, or 7 years.
This year the game will be 6. Yeah, 6. 6 years, but who knows how long Forza Motorsport has been in actual development. Because I know they said, like, technically the game was already made a year and a half ago. They were just making the small details.
Which makes sense. We've had some bad launches from Forza Motorsports. You know,
Yeah, including this one. This game didn't have spectator at launch. So there's a few things that hopefully we're just able to get a little bit better of, but don't you worry. XRS will still be racing on the new game, and will still be racing on this game as well. So we'll kind of do both games side by side.
I've been reading online that there's some announcement coming from NASCAR about the gaming license.
And whoa!
So, that should be good to see.
I saw a spoiler fly somewhere at the back.
That would be back in black.
And that's a caution.
That's a caution.
I'm like, oh, I saw a spoiler fly off. And that usually doesn't mean a good thing.
I mean, speaking on my opinion, I wouldn't mind like a generic stock car, like back in Forza 4. When we had the generic stock car, that would do for me, you know, until they get the licensing. Or maybe
we did see a lot
go
of
to
things.
the manufacturer.
Yeah. We did see a lot of things, meaning me, Kart Culture. Kart Culture are the current owners of the league. Me, I'm the admin of the league. So we've been looking at a lot of things, and we definitely have a handful of cars in mind that we see on the track, or not the track, the car list that's on their website. We were looking at a handful of them, and we did see a couple cars that were of interest that we definitely think that we could for sure do a series on. And we're most likely going to flop between series. So we'll probably do one series on that game and then one series on 7. Because the longer the game is out, the more content we'll get. Like, we're expecting not a lot of content at launch, maybe if the launch is buggy. Because the first season for that game, while it is not yet planned, meaning fully planned, we have incited that season, and we won't be racing in Forza Motorsport probably until January of 2024. So it will be a while.
Which is sensible.
Yeah, it will be a while because we still have another series that has not been announced or teased yet, but is fully planned for, that we will be running after the NASCAR Euro Series. And then we have another series also that has not been hinted to anyone yet. So that will also be ran before December. So a lot in store for XRS in this upcoming fall.
Looking at the car list, there's definitely cars in there that are usable. I mean, the Cougar's making a return.
Well, we didn't.
Mercury, I can't quite remember the name of it.
We didn't necessarily see these exact cars in that
These
game.
are they are definitely confirmed.
Okay.
I've seen it on the car list, and it was in one of the screenshots, I believe.
The screenshots, sometimes they make it very hard to tell what car, unless you're a car guru or a Forza guru and you can tell and identify each car. Makes it
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean,
hard.
the YouTubers that go through and, frame by frame it are gods. They
Yes, yes.
make life a lot easier.
When we come back to green, it'll be lap 56 of 86 complete. Dawson and Exiv lead the field in the front row.
We predicted 20 to go was going to be the time that they get racy, but with 30 to go, it could be time. 'Cause you can make a lot of position here.
It could be time for those all the way in the back of the field right now. So
Yes.
I'm looking at 14th on back. So Cam, Culture, Back in Black, Shorty. If they want a shot, they might want to start looking now. Green flag and
Oh, that
Exiv.
was bad restart. Right.
But Exiv, he pretty much changed lanes. He was in the process of changing lanes before he crossed the line.
Oh.
And whoa, a car flipping at the back!
That would be Cam, I believe.
That was Cam and
me.
Subsonic. Subsonic was the car that flipped.
Oh, his car is destroyed. Reminds me of the last time we were here, because I was that car in the exact same place.
Unfortunate for Cam and Sub. Really unfortunate for Cam being a playoff driver.
We're under caution restriction.
Yep. And it's going to take a while for them to get back to pit road. Both cars were heavily damaged.
But yeah, Subsonic is. They're probably both going to go 2 laps down.
Yeah, Cam being the faster of the two just lost his lap now, and he hasn't made it off of turn 4 yet. So they very much, both of them, are going to lose 2 laps.
What I will say for them is they should just hang in there. You know, last time we were here, I cut X's nose off, got flipped. But I finished 9th. It's just one of those. You just got to stick with it and keep going.
You stick with what you're rolling, and you need to make sure you can be there when you need it.
'Cause I don't think caution's over. You know, I mean,
Definitely not.
Exit is he a playoff driver?
He is not.
You gotta feel, will Dawson be happy, just take the points second.
At the same time, Dawson, he's in 9th. He's already 10 points behind everyone else.
Points, definitely.
Oh, yes, he definitely needs those points. And with Smokey being another playoff driver directly behind him and somebody who's ahead of him in the points, let's say he gets that 1 extra spot over Exiv.
Oh,
now that's a 9-point game.
And you have to feel, with Smokey and Exit being teammates, at some point they might pull out.
They might, but also
Smokey
might not, because Dawson, he's also very good friends with Exit. So you need to. I'm taking into consideration the alliance factor. That while Dawson, not officially listed on a team or on any team for that matter, him and Exiv, they used to be teammates at DBM. This season, DBM no longer a team, and Exiv joins Smokies. So even though yes, Smokey and Exiv are listed as teammates, that's still pretty much a third teammate in Dawson that they have.
That makes sense. I mean, the more friends the better at Daytona, definitely.
Definitely helps when you come to this track. That second group of another trio, they have stuck with these guys. It's being led by someone, and then after that, it's going to be Tomato and Rough Rabbit. And they're looking to go to the high side.
We've got a pass for 7 to 9 MVP and FM are making their way through.
There you go, FM, a name we haven't heard of all night. But look, approaching the 20 to go mark. Well, FM, he's trying to figure out good timing here.
And the MVP, you know, he's fast everywhere, so he's got a good pusher in FM to push him on.
On that high line, Tomato and someone definitely working very well together. But now Rough Rabbit has left that group and now is working with Smokey.
Coming into this coming lap car.
There'll be another few laps before they catch that group. Now here's someone getting a good run. Gonna go side by side with Exif down the backstretch. Exif making a small bit of contact with him entering turn 3.
Looks like it's on to pull over. Oh, crazy, you see who made contact with. Sonic's still not able to fix that looks of it. I think his race is done.
With Tomato being disconnected from someone, he wasn't quite able to make a good run, as now the caution comes out. Someone was definitely in good running there. It appears that whoever works with someone in front of you looks like he knows what he's doing very much in the draft. We saw him working very well with Coulter earlier. We saw him working well with MVP earlier. And now he was working very well with Tomato, so...
Yeah. We're going to be stacking the field up here after that. I feel we could see quite a few wrecked cars.
So now for this restart, Exif Dawson, they're still going to be 1-2, but now it's no longer going to be Smokey there, being the third place car. It's going to be someone. So someone is going to be the second car on the inside line, with him being in third. Could that shake up the way Exif and Dawson do their teammate restart?
Yeah, I mean, Smokey's in fourth, you know, they could go high. But then they're leaving the door open for Tomato and someone to, you know, just fly down the bottom.
We're definitely leaving that window open, and I feel like that's a window that you don't want to have closed up.
Definitely not this point in the race.
Because to this point, we've seen everybody pretty much on the restarts get down to the bottom. Like, we've seen everybody try to go single file right away. So you try to switch it up now. Hey, if the leaders go to the high line, maybe everybody else will follow. No, they will not.
Exif still takes the top. It's very interesting.
They're still going to try a teammate restart. If I'm if I'm someone in front of you, if I'm him, whenever I see Exif move a slight bit forward, I am punching the gas as hard as I can. Pedal to the floor, and I'm pushing Dawson so then he doesn't get a chance to slow down that much for Exif.
But as we know, all he takes is the wrong part of that rear end, and Dawson is around.
Yeah.
So, who knows? They may work with someone, they may not, but we will see.
We're going to definitely see how this restart goes. And when we get restarted, it will be 20 laps to go. And it will be interesting to see how this restart will play out. I definitely don't think this could be the final restart of the race. There might be
agree.
one. There might be one more, at least one more that we could see.
I mean, watching them pacing, Smokey is definitely trying to get on the back of Exit.
Now let's see, we're going to ride on board with Exif for this restart, and we're just going to look behind him. Green flag. And Exif! He just saved himself from a penalty. He just saved himself from a penalty. He was about to dive down in front of Dawson. But
someone calls Smokey.
That's going to allow someone to kind of power his way through. And now it's someone in Rough Rabbit. Dawson going to be the blocker. Someone gets there. He has a run to the outside of Dawson for second.
It's there, we got there. No, it's not.
Now Rabbit, someone kind of disconnected here, but so are Exif and Dawson.
Oh, the bottom line is coming on.
Rabbit's gonna. Yeah, I'm sure someone's not quite happy with that.
Like we were speaking, you know, Tomato and Rabbit, definitely friends. The Rabbit falls out.
With Tomato behind him, they're gonna try and work together. And who's that following? That is MVP.
Not deciding.
And here comes Rough Rabbit to the outside of Exif.
MVP and someone are definitely coming.
They worked together earlier in the race. Look at the next pair.
There's FM and Smokey.
FM and Smokey.
Together.
Now MVP and someone trying to get around Exif Dawson. Meanwhile, Rough Rabbit and Tomato have made their way to first and second.
Smokey's inside. And it looks like these two are going to get shuffled all the way out of the top 10.
Third, fourth, fifth, and what looks like is going to be sixth. They are all somewhat teammates with each other. Here comes the move. Exif and Dawson, they move together.
Got 3 most spots in the top 8. We've also got all of the FM, Smokey, all that team. All the right cars in the right places.
Oh, Exif trying to make a move for the lead. Side by side with Rough Rabbit down the backstretch. FM and Smokey, they got disconnected from each other. Now Crazy and Sly, another group of 2, into the picture.
Yeah, I mean, the motorcycle guys are finding each other at the right time.
FM Esports, the previous winner at Daytona where he got his first career XRS win. He's now sitting in third. With around 15 to go.
When you look, playoff 5 is quite a few in the top 8. We've got Dawson, Smokey, FM, Sly, Rabbit, Leo. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, the only one that's not is Exif and Crazy. 15 laps to go. When do you pull out? That's the question.
In reality, if you don't want to give anyone else an opportunity to try and get around you, you need to try to actively make the move with 3 laps to go. Try to actively make the move with 3 laps to go, and preferably coming to 2 laps to go. Like, so you can still be on 3 laps to go, but like right here in this portion of the track, turns 3 and 4. You make that move, that's good timing, and that'll make it to where you're only going to give about a lap and a half for the other group behind you to gain enough momentum to get a pass.
You have to feel like fly crazier, just trying to get them out of the way. You know, get the three motorsport cars and tomato up front. Because I don't think they will leave each other out to dry, honestly. But they're definitely going to try and get around FM at some point.
FM, he knew how to get it done here the first time, but he had a lot of teammate help. Here, his closest teammate is Exif in 6th.
Yeah, Smokey definitely had a huge assist in that win.
As it's sitting right now, if the race ended here, this could be a good finish. A lot of cars still hooked up with each other. Someone in MVP, they're really trying to work with each other a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get up to Dawson and Exif, I feel they are the 4 cars that pull out. Definitely. Oh, Dawson and Exif to the outside.
Matter of who wants the points the most. Sly, Crazy. Yep, they pull out of line as well, but if they're going to stay up there, it doesn't look like they're going to commit yet.
Who knows? Exif might be trying to, you know, take the guys out.
And there we go!
Trying to get by FM. There we go.
FM is on the high side, but yep, nobody goes with them.
They didn't expect any less.
Now
Well,
that's
the good
gonna...
news for FM is he's got teammates coming.
Yep, now he's pulled right in front of teammates, being Exif and Dawson. Dawson making an aggressive block on someone, an MVP, keeping that duo behind him.
Yeah, MVP had to get out the throttle there, you know, and I lost a lot of momentum.
It's going to take a lot for someone in MVP to really get that momentum building, especially if they have people who are going to be aggressive on the blocks.
Yeah, and I don't see any of the top 4 pulling out. Maybe Sly, he loves a good win. But as the team owner, but he maybe look at the bigger picture, take the point.
After all, it is race 1, so are you going to be the one in position?
He has to go through the thought process. Do I take the 3rd place points, or do I really want to take the risk and drop all the way down to 12? Oh, Sly has a run.
There they come. Sly and Crazy, they're going to pull out a line. That's going to leave them side by side for 2nd. Not quite. So now that gives a chance to Exif Dawson. They're not working with FM.
I'm shocked to see that.
They're not working with FM. No, FM gets shuffled all the way back.
I feel like it's going to be a sitting duck for someone in MVP.
Caution!
Caution.
Well, we
That
said
is
there
not
might
what
be
the
one
front four
more.
wanted to see.
That is definitely not what these front few guys wanted to see.
Oh, we have a few cars around in the back. Smokey,
Back in
Deadpool.
black.
back in black. Cam's going to get his lap back.
That allows Cam and Subsonic.
Now the question is, for the first time that these 4 have been up front together, can they get it back in line?
Yeah, we pretty much saw for the entire time. We saw Exif, Dawson, Smokey. They were all working with each other.
And then you look at someone like Crazy and X, if they have nothing to lose in this race. Do they go for the win? Do they help teammates?
Well, Tomato, he hasn't won yet this season. He won last season. Rough Rabbit, he has a win this season. Sly has not won this season, but consistent finishes has gotten him into the top 8.
Definitely.
Exiv, Dawson, Crazy, they don't have wins. Or, sorry, Exiv, Crazy, they don't have
Except for
wins.
Crazy.
Yeah. Dawson, he has a win. FM got a win.
Oh, it's Tomato coming down pit road.
Oh,
Nice.
he fakes.
He loves a good fake, does that Tomato.
Someone hasn't made that many starts this season. He's new to this season. Well, he hasn't gotten a win. MVP's gotten a couple wins. Culture hasn't gotten a win. He's all the way back in 10th.
Rabbit is the first one to take the bottom in a while.
So, maybe looking like that they might not do a teammate restart. Or unless Rabbit is electing to take the bottom and going to allow Tomato to get in front of him. But I don't think that'll be the case.
I don't see, I mean, yes, they're friends, but the bigger picture, you know, you've three motorsports in the top 4. Are they going to look to work together first? Pick Tomato up along the way?
Yeah, with all the Uber drivers working well with each other. And we've seen them working well all season long, in reality, so...
Well, I mean, talking from experience, you know, we try to help each other. Sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, Sly, Rough, Crazy Fools, all with each other. Tomato, he technically has no teammate in the field tonight.
Yeah, that's very true, but you know, where you don't have teammates, you have friends, and I feel like he's in a good place. Oh, it looks like Back in Black is
Whoa.
wrecking under caution. It looks like everyone's here, so it looks like we're going to be taking the flag.
Now here, it will make it to where cutoff being lap 82, I believe.
Alright. I feel
Yep,
if
lap
we have
82.
caution restriction.
This will be the last of the race.
Well,
Rough
it's
Rabbit.
gone.
Yep. Rough Rabbit with a really good restart.
Looks like Crazy's not going to get him.
He's tucked out of line. Rough Rabbit, he slows down just a little bit to allow Tomato to get to him. So now everybody trying to be single file. And where will this lead everyone? Trying to work both lanes, trying to get runs here in the final handful of laps.
Oh,
Someone in front of you around!
Someone's in the wall. Oh, big crash.
Big crash! 3, 4, 5 drivers all around the back, and a caution won't come out. Reason being, it's the interval.
That sucks for someone who's been strong all race. It's just sad time of the race. Only team.
Very much as your friends are where you find them. Exiv and Dawson were watching this group. They're catching up 4th and 5th to that trio up front of Rough Rabbit, Tomato, and Sly.
Take the flag 5 laps to go. Looks like they're going to clear the lap traffic around the pits. Why looking underneath Tomato?
Beta will get caught on that high line.
Yeah, it's all I'm supposed to at the bottom. That's all around it. And if they don't get this hooked up after the exit from Dawson, they'll just drive on by.
So now very much no yellows till the end of the race. And with the top 5 being somewhat close together, in reality, it's 2 duos versus each other. Rabbit and Uber versus Exif and Dawson.
Well, Exif is looking at that outside.
Sitting in the position right now. Exif, he's definitely going to try and pull out for the win, but trying to make the move for the win now. Are you going to give time for those drivers fifth on deck to try and make it?
Lap traffic is going to be definitely going to be an issue. Flying, I'm going to have to try and get around it.
They will catch Subsonic before they take the white flag. So it's a matter of how they get around Subsonic if he gets out of the way for them.
He's going high. Great spot
Yep.
for Subsonic there.
There we go. Yeah, if he had stayed on that inside and made those other cars go to the outside, that very much would have not been...
That would have been interesting.
Would have not been a good spot. 2 laps to go. Rough Rabbit Sly! It looked like he was about to make a move. Is he going to try and commit to a move? Exif Dawson, they're now getting a run.
Oh, they're going to be
not quite able to block it here. Exif Dawson side by side. And he's going to stay low. Are they going to split the lap car? With lap traffic in the way here on the last lap. Rabbit's ahead. Sly, first car in the inside lane. Deadpool, lap car in the middle. Exif stuck on the high line.
You gotta feel Exif and Dawson are gonna be so
Car around on the backstretch. Now into turn 3 and 4. Will Sly make a move on Rough Rabbit? Exif Dawson, is there enough time for them to room? Slide to the inside! Here they come, to the line! Why did I need to get for the spectator glitch?
I got glitch too. It says Sly won though.
It said Sly won. We didn't get the finish.
I don't have a clue.
We did not get the finish. Did someone leave? Yes, Deadpool left the race in Cam. They left the race, and them leaving the race popped up Forza Spectator.
And then so we'll have to wait for the info from the track. I'll speak to my connections, see if I can find out the result.
So we do not know the official winner, whether if it was Sly or Rabbit. Okay, so we have a confirmation from race director Culture that it was Sly who got the win, and he said the finishing order is correct. So that'll make
Nah,
it
you
to
have to feel.
where the top
You have to
three.
feel, is Rabbit going to be angry?
Who knows? We'll see. So that makes it to where it's Sly, Rough Rabbit, and Dawson.
Crazy finish right there at the end.
That'll make it to where, yes, Sly, Rough Rabbit, and Dawson are 1, 2, 3. And that makes it to where that is a first career victory for Sly the Uberman.
I mean, I have to sound biased here. I'm very happy to see what I just saw. Ooh.
Now let's get top 3 drivers in here.
Clicked the wrong button, my bad.
Make sure everybody who's in, you make sure you check off the voice box. Give me a sec here. Yeah, I was waiting for him to join, then we can get everyone's mics plugged in and do the mic check.
Mic check running.
Okay, so we heard Sly. Rough Rabbit. Mic check.
Yo.
I don't think I heard Rabbit.
I don't think I heard
Yep,
him
on the
either.
back again. What's up?
Yep, no, I hear him.
Nope, heard him this time. Then Dawson. Mic check.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dawson too.
Yep. Alright, so now everybody's good. And we will get started. With post-race interviews. And Assassin, you being the guest for tonight in the booth, you get to interview Dawson and Rough Rabbit. So you can go ahead and take it away with them.
Yeah, I'll start with Dawson. Looking at the end of the race, how do you feel about what that lap car did?
Yeah, that's absolutely unacceptable. I believe a penalty should be coming his way for sure. He definitely altered the finish of that race, and I'm not happy about it. Me and my teammate Exit, we were gonna work our way to the front. We were hopefully trying to pass those two guys up in the lead. Worked the outside lane, but he just ruined our chances. So yeah, pretty unfortunate there.
Yeah, it seems most of that race, you Exif and Smokey had those restarts down to a T. Was that something you discussed before the race, or was it just something in the spur of the moment?
Yeah. We have the race control strategy pretty down pat here. We've been doing it for many seasons now. We know how to control the restarts and get both of us a good launch and just pretty much take control of the race with me, Smokey, and Exif. Got to thank Smokey for giving us help back there. All those restarts, that was great. We had a little mess up there towards the end of the race. We had some guys get by us. I think we dropped back to 7th and 8th, 6th and 7th, whatever it was. But happy to get back up there in the top 3. Just want to thank everybody who works on this EBM Mercury Cougar. Everybody back at the shop. I got to thank DBM just for bringing me a car every week that's capable of winning races. Also, I'd like to thank FedEx. I'd like to thank Sly the Uberman, Rough Rabbit, Fan, CR,
Now,
Exiv, Smokey Eunuch,
Dawson,
just everybody else in that race.
I hope you
I
know
really appreciate all the
DBMs
help
around.
throughout the race. Yeah. I'm sorry?
I hope you know DPM's not a team anymore.
Yeah, DBM's the team. Me and Exiv, we're teammates of 4 in the 31 car. I signed us up as a team before the season. If you check in the team area, we do have an alliance with RCR, which was the Legacy Motor Club.
Yeah, except Exiv is listed as a driver for that team. So.
Right. Yeah, we're co-owners of the team.
That's not how it works. DBM can't be a team. Exiv is listed as a driver of another team.
Okay. But yeah, just going back, I'd like to thank FM Esports, RZX Cam, Vanquish, Europa, Rough Rabbit. Also, I'd like to thank FM Esports again, just for everything he did throughout the race for me. I'd also like to thank you, Fan. You know, you bring a great stream to the audience every week on Twitch. Subsonic as well, RPM. You know, great job this week. Mr. Shorty, Smiley. Someone in front of you, Tomato Drifts, Back in Black. I was happy he was out there. Been racing him for a long time. Deadpool.
Assassin, just do one question for Dawson. You can do 2 questions for Rough.
I've already asked 2 questions.
Also like to thank Toros, Digit Red, Oracle, Joe the Toaster, Ray's President. You know, everybody that's helped me in the past. David Flores, Jaden Porter. The list is too long to name, but I'm just gonna stop there. Also Joseph Keem Jr.
Okay.
Really appreciate his help. Get me into the garage every week.
Tell us where it started,
races.
Dawson. When did this?
Thank you, Dawson.
Thank you.
Oh no.
So we'll move on to Rabbit. How did you feel about the whole race overall?
To be completely honest, I felt like luck was on my side this time because I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like Kyle Busch when it comes to Daytona. Either I will wreck out and finish terribly, or I'll finish somewhere within the top 3. So I mean, it's one of the two, and luckily it was the second option today.
So, final question, yeah. Going into the last 2 laps, did you expect Fly to go for that move, or did you think you played the team game? And have you anything else to say? Not as long as Dawson.
No, definitely not as long as Dawson, but I do appreciate the fact that he gave me a couple shoutouts there. No, but going into the final lap, I was thinking more of who do I do this for, in a sense. And going into 3 and 4, I was like, you know what? I think I should hand one over this one time, but I think this one was really worked for with Sly. I mean, he had a hell of a race, and not only that, but he has been having questions of if he can still do it. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna finish 1-2 regardless. Might as well give it to the team owner. You know, gotta give him props for whatever he does and how he is, and yeah, played the team game.
Sounds good. I'll hand over to Fan.
All right. So now we move on to the winner of the race, a first career victory for him in XRS, Sly the Uberman. So Sly, all season long you've been Uber on top, and it's go time. But you really showed it tonight. Tell us how your progression was throughout the race tonight. What were you thinking when you wanted to make the moves, how you wanted to be in front, and essentially just finish where you were at the end.
Well, I'm honestly speechless the fact that I'm in a post-race interview in an XRS lobby, let alone winning the race, all thanks to my wonderful teammate Rabbit, and I do appreciate Austin's commendations on his interview. It was great. I just really don't know the words to give to you, but I say throughout the race, I've been kind of back and forth through the field. I did have a little incident with Back in Black knocking me back. I chose to kind of stay off the track to avoid wrecking. But, of course, things got pretty hopeful towards the end. Once I just kind of got under Tomato, I just got behind Rabbit. I knew from there we can kind of get things rolling, and I cannot thank Rabbit enough for just kind of letting me have this moment real quick. It is truly a dream come true the way how far I've come since when I started XRS in the Cup Series, but above all else, I'm just super happy to at least have a win to lock myself to playoffs before the end of the season. And just, yeah, I don't know what else to say besides that. It's just super happy to win.
So now entering into this race, you came in sixth in the standings. Sixth of the standings. Now with this win, this is going to put you into that top 4 spot. It doesn't lock you in, but now with 3 races to go, being Watkins, Road America East, and Homestead, this is going to really set yourself up good with a lot of confidence moving forward with this win tonight. What are you looking for in the other 3 races? What kind of results are you trying to get out of those now?
Well, seeing is I'm moving up with this win, and of course, yes, the confidence boost. I'm hoping to at least get a top 5 and up. I know I probably won't win these next few races. I at least have one win that's good enough for me. But if I can push myself up there to at least top 5 forward, I think that'd be a very beneficial finishing position. And of course, I would have to keep myself consistent on the track as well mentally.
All right, but congratulations to you on getting your first career victory tonight. That makes it to where pretty much two out of the 3 races at Daytona that have been ran this season, 2 of them we got first-time winners in their XRS career. So definitely,
And that's what Daytona's all about, giving first-time winners a chance.
So definitely a good shot for everybody all around. And yeah, good luck to you moving forward.
Thank you. I sign off for Uber Motorsports. It's mudda heckin' go time. Even a PG-13 for you.
Thank you.
I was about to say it. I caught myself.
Uber on top.
Uber on top, baby. It's go time.
All right. So
thank
now,
you for having us here.
Thank you. So now that will wrap up post-race interviews. Assassin, it's crazy to see a Daytona race and XRS from this perspective. What are your thoughts and takes on tonight, being in a different perspective and not being on track?
Yeah, it's a lot less stressful. I'll tell you that for free. I've got to be honest. I was skeptical when asked to do this, but I've enjoyed every second of it. Makes it a bit better, that I saw my teammates get first and second. I'd love to come back if I ever got the invite, but yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's definitely a lot less stressful.
If I may add a quick shout out to Crazy Fools for at least giving me a little bit of a push within the
Yes.
races.
All right.
Couldn't do without you, buddy.
All right. But thank you, Assassin, for joining me in the booth tonight and in place of
My
AK's
pleasure.
absence. Hopefully, AK will see him back at Road America next week. If not, well, then we'll see if you're going to get the call again or somebody else might get the call. Yeah, AK's schedule, to those who might not know, is all over the place right now because he is a part of like a traveling sports team, you can say. And his team ended up making the playoffs. So now the guaranteed list of tracks that he said he was going to make it to is now changing all over again. So hopefully he can be back sooner than later, but also wishing him the best of luck in his sports competition
Definitely.
for IRL. So now, yeah, it was a Daytona race. We saw a lot of pack racing. Saw a lot of wrecks. We saw a flip. Can't beat Daytona without a flip. And overall, a lot of aggressive racing throughout most of the pack, and that's what we expected. We expected that, so then we could see just everybody trying to go back and forth, building that momentum, building that run, and this could be reminiscent of what we might see for the championship at Indianapolis, because Indianapolis is such a draft-heavy package as well, just like this track. So should be very interesting. Assassin, thank you once again for joining me. I have no clue if you'll be
Thank you.
joining me again at any point down the line, but I'll say for sure you did well tonight.
I grew into it, I feel. I was a little quiet at the beginning, but I grew into it, when the racing got going.
All right, so that's going to wrap up for tonight here at Daytona for round 1 of the XRS playoffs. Next week, we will move on to race 12 and round 2 for Road America on the East Circuit configuration. So the rectangle, as a lot of people like to call it. So we will see you and everybody here on stream next week, and we'll see how the playoffs continue for round 2.